Today we're going to walk through the Rostra website and some of the different product categories we have available in the Rostra product line. So first you'll want to go to the Rostra website, rostra.com. This is a little bit older of a website, and we're currently working on a revamp of the entire website, the look, the feel, and the functionality. So this video that you're watching today, the features and functions of the website may change, but the core product categories will still be there. So first, I'd like to point out right here at the top of the screen, we have the vehicle search section. This is going to be very useful for the cruise control and the speed limiter category, and that's what we'll talk about first. So if you're looking to see what cruise control or speed limiter part number is compatible with your particular vehicle, you'll use the drop-down menu here to select your vehicle details. So we're going to put in a 2022 Ford truck and van, and then we're going to select an F-250 and click search. So you can see here it returns search results for all compatibility for this vehicle. So it starts out with cruise controls and speed limiters at the top, and then it goes into some of our other product categories that we have here, including seating options, camera options, blind spot detection, and we'll talk about all that in a little bit. But let's focus here at the top with cruise controls. So you can see here there are 3 cruise control kits that are compatible with this particular vehicle. And then you'll want to look here at the notes for each particular kit. So you can see that the 250 1837 is for the cabin chassis models only. The 9510 is not for vehicles equipped with the 7.3 liter engine or cabin chassis. And then the 9666 is for use with the 7.3 liter engine only. And then one thing I'd like to point out, all of these cruise control kits here include switches. And then you can see here some of the different information we have for speed limiters, and then also the notes for compatibility. So first and foremost, if you're looking for compatibility on cruise controls or speed limiters, always start with the vehicle search function here at the top of the page. So going back to the home page, we have our product section here at the top. This drop-down menu shows all of the current product availability, source power, cruise controls, speed limiters, camera systems, digital video recorders, parking assistance and blind spot detection, and vehicle seating upgrades. So let's continue in the cruise control category. So when you click on cruise control, it'll show you all the different options we have for cruise control. Everything from the global cruise kit. This is the mechanical cruise control that Rostra has been making for over 30 years now. And then it gets into some of the other cruise control kits for vehicle specific, drive-by-wire, as well as a cruise control and speed limiting kit that we have available. We also do offer some custom cruise control switches like this GM, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So the global cruise, this is one of our most popular products. This has been around for over 30 years, the 250 1223. This is a mechanical cruise control, and it's compatible with just about every vehicle on the market that has a cable-driven accelerator pedal. So once this is mounted under the hood, the cable gets connected to the accelerator on the engine, and it will maintain the speed whenever the cruise control is set. This particular kit does not come with a switch. So when you order the 250 1223, you'll have to add one of the switch options that we have available. You can see some of the documentation that we have here if you want to read through the installation. And then all of the switches are going to be available on the previous page. So if we go back a page, we can go down here to the switch section, and we can see all of the switches that are compatible with that global cruise system, the most popular being the 3742 that you see here. But we have dash mounted switches, we have column mounted switches, and we even have the screw-on GM style switch and the cutoff style switch for those older vehicles that are out there on the market. This is a very popular kit. The 1223 is very popular in the hot rod market, or again, any vehicle that has a cable-driven accelerator system. The next cruise control kits that I want to talk about are the custom pedal interface. These kits are going to be for all of your vehicles that are drive-by-wire. So if your accelerator pedal has wires for control to the engine, these are the kits that you're going to focus on, as well as the cruise control and speed limiting system here. So the biggest difference between your drive-by-wire cruise controls and your cruise controls with speed limiters is that we have two different options. The regular cruise control is the 250-96XX part number, and we also offer that same part number in a 250-96XX-NS. The two differences between those are the switches that are included. So the regular one includes the legacy switch, and the new switch, or the NS product, includes this new switch option. This new switch option gives you all of your cruise control functionality that you would normally have, your set, your accelerate, your coast, your on-off functionality. But it also offers a couple new features. So first and foremost, down here at the bottom, we have the Memory 1 and the Memory 2 switches. These can be used to set cruise control memories, just like you would set a radio station memory on your radio. So let's say you drive the same route every day to the job site, and on your route you have a speed limit of 65 and you have a speed limit of 55. You could program those into your memory buttons, and you can automatically set your cruise control when you get on the highway. So if you get on your highway where the speed limit is 65 and you want to cruise at 65, you can press that Memory 1 function. The cruise control will engage at the 65 mile per hour mark. It'll accelerate up to there, and then it'll maintain that speed for you. And then same thing with Memory 2. You can set the Memory 2 function, and it'll automatically maintain your speed at whatever you set the Memory 2 speed to be. Up here at the top, we have a voluntary limiter function. This is a really great feature if you happen to drive that same road every day and there is always a speed check on that road. You can manually engage a speed limiter to make sure that you're not accelerating past the posted speed limit, the set speed limit on your limiter, and that way you can prevent yourself from getting a ticket. So as an example, if you drive a road every day and it's 45 miles per hour, and there is always some type of speed check or speed trap on that road, you can set your limiter for 45 miles per hour, and now your vehicle will not accelerate past that 45 mile per hour mark, regardless of if you're using the cruise control or not. If you're just accelerating like normal using the accelerator pedal, when you set that limiter function, it will not allow you to accelerate past your preset limiter speed. So it's a really great feature to make sure that you are maintaining the speed, being safe on the road. It's always a really good feature too for fuel consumption. It's a proven fact that lower speeds mean better fuel consumption, especially on the highway. If you are driving on the highway every day and you want to set your speed limiter at 55 miles per hour, you are going to save fuel as opposed to driving 65 or 70 miles per hour on the highway every single day. So that limiter function can make you safer while driving, and it can also improve your fuel consumption, meaning lower costs for driving. So again, all of our cruise controls, which are the drive-by-wire cruise controls, are going to be 96 part numbers. So for example, you can see here, there's the 9623, and then that includes the legacy switch that you see here. And then if you wanted that same function or that same vehicle application with that new switch we just talked about, it would be a 9623-NS for new switch. One of the great things about these drive-by-wire cruise controls is that the installation is very easy. So you can see here on this 9633, we are tapping into the accelerator pedal with a T-harness. We're tapping into the vehicle power and CAN with a T-harness. And then we have a extension harness going up to the cruise control switch. So once you mount the switch on the column, the rest of the install is 100% plug and play on this particular model. On some models, we do 100% plug and play. On other models, we may do a 75% plug and play. It just depends on where we can get the information over CAN for the particular vehicle that you're working on. If you'd like to see the installation guide for any one of these, you can click the form number here underneath the kit, and it'll bring up the installation guide. So you can see what you're getting into before you do this installation. So for example, on this particular kit, we're going to plug into the pedal harness, and we do supply an OBD connector, but we do also give you the option of how to hardwire that connection to the OBD. So as an example, if you're installing the system into a vehicle that has a GPS tracker plugged into the OBD, you can always cut that off and hardwire your CAN to the vehicle OBD. And then we show you the rest of the installation down here at the bottom. And we do that for all of our vehicle-specific drive-by-wire cruise control systems. So the last thing we want to talk about in that cruise control category are vehicle speed limiters. These are starting to gain more traction in the marketplace, especially in the commercial marketplace, where safety, liability, and efficiency are very important in the commercial marketplace. These are people that make money using their vehicles. So think of plumbers that have plumbing vans, or service trucks that are driving around and servicing the electrical system, the gas and utility systems. These people make money using their vehicles, and any way that they can save money is always a good option for them. So these vehicle speed limiters are vehicle specific, and they're also pre-programmed for vehicle speed at our factory. So once they're installed, the speed cannot be overridden. As an example, if you're installing a speed limiter on that Ford F-250 that we talked about earlier, you would order your part number, and then after the part number, you would add the speed limit that you wanted to have for that application. Our standard speed limit options that we have available are 65, 70, 75, and 80 miles per hour. The speed limiters are exactly the same as the plug-and-play cruise control kits that we just talked about. So all of these applications are for drive-by-wire accelerator pedals, and they're all plug-and-play T-harness, just like on the cruise control system. The only difference is that we're not supplying a switch for these. These are hardwired, pre-programmed for the speed limit. They're plug-and-play for vehicle CAN in some applications. They're all plug-and-play for the accelerator pedal. And again, once they're installed, that speed limit cannot be overridden. So if you have a speed limiter installed at 65 miles per hour, no matter what the driver does, it will not accelerate past that 65 mile per hour mark. When you reach that speed limit, even if you have the pedal to the floor, it will just maintain that speed limit exactly like a cruise control would if it were engaged. There is an optional accessory here, but I do like to call it a required accessory if the vehicle has OEM cruise control. So with these speed limiter systems, we are integrating to the accelerator pedal. On all OEM cruise control systems, the cruise control is done at the engine control module after the accelerator pedal in the system setup. So what could happen is that if you have a speed limiter installed in the vehicle and someone is using an OEM cruise control, that OEM cruise control will allow you to accelerate past the preset speed limit because that system controls the engine after the accelerator pedal. So we do sell an additional accessory that gets wired into the system, and it cancels that OEM cruise control when the preset speed limit on the speed limiter box is reached. So as an example, if the speed limiter is set for 65 miles per hour, someone is using OEM cruise control at 55 miles per hour, no issue, it will maintain that speed. If someone's using the buttons on their steering wheel for their cruise control and they accelerate up past the 65 mile per hour mark, this additional box engages and it cancels that OEM cruise. So now they're not able to accelerate past the preset speed limit. Down here at the bottom, you can see an example of how the part number systems are set up. You have your vehicle specific application as a 25098 XX. In this example for the Nissan NV, it's a 2509806, and then a dash and the speed limit you would like for the system. So if you would like a 65 mile per hour speed limit, you would order a 2509806-65. And again, custom speed limits are available at Volume Buy, and you can reach out to your regional sales manager for information on the custom cruise controls. Again, the biggest thing with cruise control, using the drop-down menu at the top of the screen to get your vehicle speed limiter or cruise control part numbers. So again, you can see here, here's the speed limiter part number 2509810-65 for 65 mile per hour vehicles. The next category I want to talk about are vehicle camera systems. So in the Rostra product line, almost all of our camera systems are what we would call heavy-duty commercial camera systems. These camera systems are going to be a little bit more rugged. They all, 90% of them use a 4-pin threaded connector end on them to make sure that they are waterproof, they're tight, and they're not going to come undone during normal operation of the vehicle. So we have camera options available, we have monitor options available. Let's take a quick look at the standalone monitor options. So you can see here we have a 9-inch, this is a quad input. This particular monitor will take up to 4 video inputs, and you have the option to split screen. You can show 2 cameras, 3 cameras, or even 4 cameras on the monitor at one time. We have a 7-inch 2 video input, and we also have a 7-inch 4 video input. And just like the 9-inch, this 7-inch quad view monitor allows you to choose your viewing mode. So single camera, 2 camera, 3 camera, or 4 camera viewing mode right on the screen. All of these monitors come with the pedestal mount like you see here, so that they can mount directly to the dashboard. We do sell an accessory windshield mount like the one that you see here that's available as an optional accessory. Going back into the vehicle camera systems, we have rear view mirror monitors available. We have trailer camera harnesses. We have vehicle specific third brake light cameras. We have quad view multiplexers. We have work light cameras. This is a really cool product here. So we have a round and a square work light, and it has a camera built in right in the center here. So if you are working on, say, a garbage truck or a salt spreader that may need a bright light in the back, but you also want a video view of what's going on behind you, you can install this light with camera built in, and now you have a really bright light and a video feed so that you can monitor what's going on behind the vehicle. One of the most popular products in our vehicle camera systems category is a tailgate camera relocation system. A lot of the commercial trucks and vans out there they're altering the vehicle to fit whatever their business need is. So you may have somebody that is taking the bed of a truck off and they're putting a service body on the back of the vehicle. You may have somebody that's taking the tailgate off and they're dropping in a commercial topper inside the OEM bed. Anytime you remove that vehicle tailgate, you are removing the OEM camera system that came on the truck from the factory. When you do that, a lot of drivers or fleet owners, they still want the safety of a backup camera. They still want to see what's going on behind the vehicle. These relocation kits allow you to relocate the OEM camera or add an aftermarket camera in a different location and integrate it all into the OEM screen just like they had before they altered the truck. So when you go to our tailgate relocation website page, you can choose your vehicle and you can choose how you want the system to be integrated. So as an example here, we're going to choose a Ford truck, and then we're going to pick an F-150. I'm going to choose a year. For example, I'm going to choose 2022. And there's a couple extra options that you need to choose from. So in this particular vehicle, does it have an automatic power tailgate or does it have a manual tailgate? And it'll show you the connector option down here that's available for each vehicle configuration. My particular configuration, we're going to choose a manual tailgate that's most popular in the commercial market. And you can scroll down here and you can see that we offer a harness for this particular vehicle, the 250-9635. And this harness is compatible with any one of these camera options that you see here at the bottom. So with this harness, you're able to plug directly into the OEM video feed, and you can add one of these cameras to the vehicle to provide the backup camera, and it integrates directly into the OEM screen. So as a driver, you are not using the system any different than you would if you were still had the factory camera installed. Let's go back and take a look at a different vehicle. So let's look at a Super Duty, and we're going to pick a Super Duty with a factory installed truck bed, and we're going to choose a 2022. So one of the options that you'll see here is we need to know what the system had on it from the factory. Some vehicles come with an analog camera, and some vehicles from the factory come with a digital camera called LVDS. So before we can tell you what's compatible, we need to know what was on there from the factory. And we show you two different examples of what the OEM connector looks like. So an analog connector, an analog camera, is going to look similar to one of these two connectors. It'll be just like any other harness that's on the truck. If the vehicle has a digital camera from the factory, that connector is going to look like this one. It's a coax cable. It looks a lot like a Sirius XM satellite radio antenna cable. It's a single cable that carries power and video feed. So on our vehicle, I'm going to say we have an LVDS camera system. And we can scroll down here to see all of the products that are available for that LVDS camera system. When it has that digital camera option, you cannot replace that camera with an aftermarket one. It has to be the factory OEM camera. So for those particular vehicles, we have a series of relocation housings that allow you to take the OEM camera, put it into a new housing outside of the tailgate, and then mount that housing somewhere on the rear of the vehicle so that you can still provide the OEM camera backup view that the vehicle had from the factory. We sell these parts individually, so if you need just a housing or a housing and a cable, or all three, housing, camera, and cable, you can buy all three that are available. In some cases, when you're taking a tailgate off of a vehicle, they are selling that tailgate to somebody else, whether it's a parts supplier, a vehicle body shop, or even just another consumer looking for a tailgate, there is a large market for reselling those products that you're taking off of a truck. In some cases, or actually in most cases, that tailgate has a higher value when it has the OEM camera still built into it or still attached. So we do sell these OEM cameras through Rostra, so that it allows you to add a camera and the housing separate and resell that tailgate as complete. If you have any questions on analog versus digital LVDS, you can reach out to our tech support team and they can walk you through some of the differences. The last thing I want to talk about here are the parking assistance and blind spot detection systems. So this is where you will find your parking sensor systems and also blind spot with rear cross traffic. One of our most popular products on the Vox side in our ADAS category is the ADV BSD30. That is a radar-based blind spot system so that you can retrofit a vehicle that didn't have that from the factory. Those are radar systems, and the problem is they need to be mounted behind a plastic bumper. All of our commercial trucks and vans are going to have metal bumpers. So what we've done is we've taken that same radar sensor and we've put it into an external housing. So now that can be mounted on the outside of the vehicle, left and right, and we can provide all the same functionality as an OEM blind spot system, and we can do it on commercial trucks and vans. So just like our ADV BSD30, it comes with 2 sensors, a speaker, your blind spot pods. And because we're working on commercial vehicles, we have 7.5 meter harnesses from the sensor to the control module. So 7.5 meters is roughly about 20 feet of harness between the sensor and the control module. If you're working on a larger truck, like a 40-foot box truck, we do sell an extension harness kit to make this 40 feet long between the sensor and the control module. So now you can cover anything from a pickup truck with a service body all the way up to a 40-foot box truck with this blind spot detection system. And here's a couple of examples of it mounted on the outside of a van, the outside of a pickup truck, and then of course this is the blind spot pod, LED warning pod that you would have inside the vehicle. Also in this category, we have our parking sensor kits. One of our most popular parking sensor kits in the Rostra line is the 250-1903 BZT-RK. This is what we call the truck kit. And one of the reasons that it's our most popular kit is because it includes a 25-foot harness. This harness is 25 feet from the sensor to the control module. Now you can cover vehicles that are long, like extra long pickup trucks or service bodies, without having to manually extend or add a separate extension harness. Everything is included in one kit. This particular kit includes a buzzer and a display, so you can pick and choose which one you would like to have installed. Also included in this kit, we have rubber bushings. These would be used if you're mounting the sensors and metal bumpers. And then we also have these under bumper mounts for vehicles that may not have a bumper but do have some type of metal gate. For example, a box truck with a lift gate on it. You may not have a place to drill 4 holes, so you can mount these underneath the solid steel bumper so that you can still provide backup sensor functionality on those larger vehicles like box trucks. You can see an example of the display, and we even have an installation guide if you'd like to take a look there. But we have all different kits in the parking assistance systems. We have everything from a basic car kit, we have a front sensor kit, all the way up to that BZT-RK. We even have a kit that's the BZ35, which is a parking sensor kit with a 35-foot harness. So now you can cover even longer vehicles. I know we covered a lot here in this video and there's still more to talk about. So if you have any questions about anything on the Rostra website or any of the products that we talked about today, you can call our tech support department. And again, if you're looking for this website, you can find it at rostra.com.